This is the Dick and Conversation podcast. I'm Elissa and I am back. I I hope you all can hear that clapping because it's a effect I have here. It's a little sound effect I have here. And I've been trying to add it in here, but sometimes that joker don't add. Sometimes it does, sometimes it don't. But I click on it anyway. So if this is your first time hearing me or seeing me, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've heard me before, welcome back. You can probably hear me on Amazon, iHeart, Pandora, or Spotify, and you can probably see me on YouTube. Like, subscribe and share. I remembered it this time. Like, subscribe and share on the Dick and Conversation podcast. My YouTube, that is my YouTube channel. Um, Dick and Conversation Podcast. You can also find me on Instagram, Dick and Conversation underscore podcast. You can also find me on the Facebook. Oh God, I'm sounding old. On the Facebook, Dick and Conversation Facebook page. You can also reach me at Blue Sky, which is Dick and Convo. B Sky. Dick and Convo.bsky.social. So that's forgot the email. My email is dickandconvo at gmail.com. If you're here and you didn't hear the last episode I created, you might want to go back and hear the episode called Band Aid. The Band Aid. It was me talking about how I was trying to heal parts of the men that I was dating, and I didn't even understand what was causing it. It was me trying to be what I felt was wrong. Like I said, I have a dating history of men who had estranged fathers. And what I understood that they had estranged fathers, I noticed that they all tend to be very keen to women's needs, wants, moods, emotions. But because they had these father issues, there were other things that sometimes showed up. And me trying to be a fixer because I love a fixer. Oh, I love somebody with some issues. Me trying to be a fixer tried to help heal the wound of whatever it was, whether it was a father issue, mother issue, whatever it was. I was that person trying to heal. Like I said, for example, if they had abandonment issues, I was going to make sure that I hung around, stayed around, was going to be there for them, thinking that would erase the abandonment issues or fear of someone leaving. But the truth was, they were never afraid of me leaving because I wasn't the person who left. And me trying to put a band aid on the wound that wasn't really there. Like I kept saying, it's me trying to put a band aid on a finger, but they're really bleeding out of their toe. And you know the old saying, if you don't heal what hurt you, you will bleed on people who didn't cut you. So I was getting bled on and wondering, like, why I'm getting bled on? I'm here. I'm supportive. I'm understanding. I'm loving. I listen. I'm engaged physically, mentally, socially, spiritually, whatever you needed. Because I thought that I was trying to heal their wounds. Hold on, water. Saratoga water, that baby, that water is delicious. Y'all know it's still going through trials and tribulations. But this is part two because I received some feedback about the Band Aid episode from men and women, which was very, very interesting. Not always, but I mean, the men's side was very interesting. When men reached out to me, and they realized uh, they have hero complex. I was had a deep discussion with my cousin Jelani. Hey, Jelani. He also has a podcast, Straight Gangsta Mac. You can hear that on Spotify. But my cousin and I had this deep conversation about us trying to be fixers. We always trying to identify the problem and fix it. Identify the next problem, fix it. But it was coming through with us when we were trying to resolve issues with our dating lives. And he said he noticed a pattern in his dating life when he was much younger, also, that he dated women who had specific needs or they had emotional defects, to say it, and I don't can't think of a way another to say it. But women who had needs, and he tried to fill their needs. And while he was filling their need, he felt the need to be needed. So he was like, cuz I was trying to help these women and trying to boost them up and, let them know that they were smart or they're beautiful. And he did not really realize that he too had a need, that he had a wound, and his wound that he felt that he was trying to heal was to heal others, which I could relate to. He said, I was operating from a place of brokenness. I'm here to tell you, when my cousin said that, I was like, ding, 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 ding. I had my Oprah, what they used to call Oprah aha moment. I had my aha moment. My light turned on. I too was operating from a place of brokenness. And when you're operating from a place of brokenness, basically means you trying to help somebody and you need help yourself. That was me. I'm trying to help somebody else and I need help. I had wounds that needed to be healed. I had trust issues. I had triggers and trauma, and I think I was pretty good at masking it. I think overall I was kind of good at masking it, that these things, these issues that I had, because I was broken as well. And I bet a lot of you are thinking the same thing, that you got your own triggers, your own little issues, your own little that you're dealing with, but you're trying to help that man. You trying to heal that woman, and you yourself messed up. But remember, I also spoke on a few episodes back about how men who were raised by single moms tend to be very keen on the issues of a woman. They're very in tune to her moods, her illness, her thoughts, her emotions. They tend to pick up on it, even if they don't know the root cause, or even if they don't necessarily have the answer to how to, give a resolution to whatever she's dealing with. They tend to notice it. Like I said, I could think of two right off the bat. I walk into their home and I go, hey, like I normally would. And I go, like, what's wrong? Now, I know something's wrong, but I would wonder how they know what's wrong. But when you've been raised by a woman or you've been around women, they tend to be very keen on the emotions of a woman. Like I said, I had a conversation um, with someone, and I said, men who are like that, they know what it looks like. They know what it looks like for a woman to cry over a man. They know what it looks like if there's something going on with a woman's body. They know what it looks like when a woman feel bad because she gained a little weight. That's what I'm going through. This weight thing, no joke. But men who have been raised by single mothers tend to be very in tune to that because they've seen it. They know what they're looking at. So when they're in a relationship with someone or dating someone or jump over, engaged, married, whatever, they tend to recognize those symptoms because they have seen that before. So when my cousin was telling me about that, I was like, yeah, but your mom for a while, she was a single mom. His mom was a single mom for a while. R.I.P. cousin Regina. We used to call her Gina, and after a while she was like, my name is Regina. So R.I.P. my cousin Regina. She was a single mom for a while until raising two sons. So you know how difficult that is. I mean, like Tupac said, it ain't easy for a woman trying to raise a man. It's difficult. I have one in my home. It's difficult because I can't teach what I don't know. I've never been a man, but I can try to just teach you to be a good person. But men who are raised by single mothers tend to be that way. But he was saying how he tend to understand that women have these needs, and he was trying to build them up and make them feel good, and because he was helping heal a woman who was wounded or who needed to be lifted up or who needed to, have that partner or that friend and things like that when he was much younger. He's married now, just in case anybody's wondering, he's married. So he's a good guy. He's married. So he had that thing where when he was younger, that's what he was dealing with. And I was like, really? He said, yeah, but my thing was I needed to be needed. I was broken. I had a thing that I needed to be needed. And if I thought about it, I was like, ooh, that turned the light on. Like I quoted my other cousin, Greg. Hey, Greg. An epiphany is a good thing to have. That was an epiphany for me once again, that I also needed to be needed. I needed to have someone to fix and heal and, understand their hurt and be empathetic and get to the why. Get to the why this and do this whole analysis and diagnosis. This is why you're like this. This is why. Saratoga, if you all want to like do a little sponsorship, I'm happy to do it. So I too was that way, but it's I think we all do that. We all tend to have our own issues that we're carrying around. And if you are like me and you a fixer, you love to fix them up. You love to heal the wounds. You love to uplift. You want to pour into someone. And it's not as though we make this conscious decision. Let me go ahead and say that because it's not as though I said, let me seek out men who have issues or men who have low self-esteem or abandonment issues or whatever it is feeling like they're not intelligent. Here, let me pour into them and I'm going to make them feel better and I'm going to make me feel better. That's not the case. You really identify with the person. You're seeking to have them as your partner, as your mate, as your husband, as your fiance, jump off, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is. You're not just making this statement or this concerted effort to be that person, but it tends to be in you. So I was like, okay, now that I've had this epiphany, let me follow up on the band-aid and tell about how we operate from operate from a position of brokenness. We operate from being wounded. And maybe that's why we are these people who feel like we need to heal someone else. But who heals us? And a lot of times we don't even identify that that is a wound in itself. If you have the need to want to heal someone else, that's because you need a healing yourself. Me. Now, how did I get over my healing and wanting to? I mean, I'm still there. I still have this moment. I have, I'm still cool, strapping young lad comes up. And I'm strapping young. You know how you meet somebody, they always just got a smart mouth. They're not trying to be mean. They just got a smart mouth. They just always got to say something, just quick wit. Well, I'm quick wit too. So we go try to quick wit each other. But it's always this smart mouth thing. And I was just like, you know what this is? You're just not used to positivity being poured into you. I'm going to pour positivity in you because all that's spilling out is negativity. And that's not what needs to be. I'm going to pour positivity in you. And I had to catch myself like, listen, hey, ho, whoa, pump the brakes. That's not for you to do. You're doing it again. Because I'm thinking like, oh, let me just build up their self-esteem. Let me pour positivity. And I mean, I had this moment in the last 48 to 72 hours. So I'm not completely healed trying to do that. Where do I need my healing? I mean, I've been cheated on a billion times. At one point, I could easily say, oh, hell, I can say it now. In every relationship I've been in, I've been cheated on. Whether it was, fly by night or whole full blown affair, I had been cheated on. And that's the thing, like, oh my God, that's my wound I'm carrying around. Oh my God, I have trust issues. I don't really trust anyone. I don't trust myself to be a great partner. That's kind of one of my things that I'm dealing with, where in the event something happens and I need to call a partner to come through for me. I don't think that I would do it. I'm calling my mama or one of them brothers of mine or one of them cousins, somebody. I'm probably not going to call a partner, which is horrible because that's not partnership. That's my wound, moment of transparency. That's my wound that I'm carrying around. I need to heal that. I need to, at some point, be able to have full trust. Oh, that's deep. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Y'all pray for me on that one because I think that's who can heal all our souls diseases. Nothing but the blood of Jesus. That one you all have to pray for me about on that one because that's a tough one. I mean, if anyone has ever been cheated on, um, trust issues gonna hang around. Now, that's not to say I think every person I meet or have dated, it'll be like, oh, he probably go cheat. I ain't gonna give him my number because he probably a cheater too. It goes through my mind a little bit, but everybody does get a clean slate with me. I really do, and I'm sure if you ever talk to anybody I dated, don't. But if you do, if anybody does ever talk to anybody I dated, they'll say like, yeah, she didn't compare me to anybody else because I don't. I give everyone a clean slate. Now, is the thought of them going to cheat or hurt me always on the back of my mind? Yeah, I sit there and wait like what this one go do? How this one go do it? But I don't act on it. If I have the thought, I still don't act on it. I try to give everyone a clean slate to paint the picture that they want me to see of them. Sometimes the picture isn't all that great. Sometimes it's like, it's a pretty picture. Like I said, everybody that I've ever dated, I'm good friends with because they're not bad guys. They just weren't my person. They just weren't, I wasn't the person they were meant to be with. They weren't the person I was meant to be with. And that's okay. It is okay to say that. It is okay to believe that. It is okay to let go. Let go. You can't, if you're just constantly trying and trying and trying, you're not happy. You cry more than you laugh. You guys argue more than you just talk. You fight more than you play footsie. You fighting more than you footsie or forking, spooning. It's okay to let go. It's okay to say, you know what, you're not my person, and I can let you go. It's all right to say I'm not the person for you, and you're not the person for me. This hair keep getting in my face. That's why I'm not trying to be cute or do some little gesture. This hair keep falling in my face. It's okay to say, you know what, I just don't think we meant to be together. Now, because I am north of 50, I don't know many women who will actually just do it. We'll take a lot out of fear of being alone. We don't want to be alone. Being alone is uncomfortable. It's painful. It hurts. It's a difference. Well, I ain't gonna say being alone. Being lonely. It's uncomfortable. That's painful. It hurts. Being alone isn't so bad. Alone is by your choice. I'm choosing to be alone. When I'm lonely, that's not a choice. I've been there. Right now, I'm choosing to be alone because I just said I don't think I'll make a good partner right now. I really don't. But I'm good with. I'm friends with a lot of guys who love to call and bounce things off of me, which I love. Hence the reason of this whole podcast. Like I said, men were having conversations with other men's. Men's. Did I say men's? Men. Conversations with other men that they weren't having with the women in their lives. And I was like, y'all need to tell these women. And they don't. But I have created a safe space for men who talk to me. I would love to hear more from women. You know what? I've asked several women to come on this show, this podcast, and just chop it up. Drink water. It's hot, y'all. It's been in 90 degrees up here in Michigan, 90 plus, close to 100. So I'm drinking water. I've asked several women to come on, like, hey, you want to come on and talk about it? Because they'll send me messages or, they'll talk to me about it or comment. And I'm like, hey, come on. But I don't know. They just don't, can't, won't. And I get it. I totally get it. I swear I do. Because it's not easy to be transparent online where nothing dies, everything's forever. And tell about yourself. Tell your personal business, your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your non beliefs, what you're looking for, what you hope you don't find. It's not that easy. My cousin Erica, hey Erica, always says, well, listen, you're a conversationalist. I don't see how you just sit and have a whole conversation with the computer. I don't know if that means I'm a little, or that I just really feel passionate about getting this information out because I don't want another woman, particularly women, because this is for women, well, about women, to feel the way I felt, to go through the things I've gone through, to try to heal from the wounds that I'm healing from. And if I can pass on some information to others, men or women, non binary, I, non gender, I would love to because I don't want anyone to feel what I felt. There are certain songs that trigger me still. There's a song that comes on, and I remember it was when I was in the highest level of fuckery and foolery in my life, and where I was staying up days at a time, all night long, crying, thinking, praying, and wondering how is this gonna end? What's gonna happen? And this song would come on, and it was Kelly Price and Stokely. And she was just saying all her guts, all her heart, all her soul, her bowels, her mind, body, and soul, everything. You're not my father, you're my man. And that song would come on while in the midst of my tears. Till when I hear this song today, I'm like, ugh. It takes me back to when I used to be crying in the middle of the night, crying and praying, like, Lord, if you don't want me to have this man, Lord, take him. Lord, take. Either change him, Lord, or change me. God was like, okay, I got you. He did both, you and him. But I hear this song and it's still like, oh, Lord, I remember what that feeling was like. And I just don't want anybody to feel that way. I saw something on the internet, on social media, where saying like when you have a song, you're heartbroken, and you miss the part of the song to make you cry, so you rewind it so you can hurt again and hurt harder. I can relate. I can relate because not too long ago, You Plus Me by Mary J. Blige was taking me there. It was taking me there. Oh, Mary. Oh, Mary. I was playing that song on repeat when I was cooking, playing it in the car, playing it before I go to bed, just with a headset on, boo hooing. And that was a little while ago, like but that's what happened. So it's like, oh yeah, I still got some things to heal. I still got some wounds. I pull that band-aid off way, way, way too soon, where I'm still hurting. I'm still, bleeding. I'm not bleeding on anybody, but I'm still bleeding. And I had the nerve to feel like I can fix somebody up, pull their band-aid off, and I had pulled mine off a little too soon. Healing takes time. Even if you are a kid and you skin your knee on the sidewalk, it takes a minute for that little scab to scab up and you pull the little scab off and it's still a little raw, little sore under there. And you lay that scab over and you pull it over. So just imagine what it feels like emotionally and mentally and spiritually. Because, baby, I'm here to tell you, I can tell you that going to church when your heart is broken, it's hard. You'll shout yourself all over that church, but it's not necessarily a spiritual shout. It could be emotional things. It's like, oh, I'm emotional. And people are like, oh, the Holy Ghost had her. Yeah, use the Lord. Not this time. The devil really got me. Looks the same, but it ain't. So that's the thing I want to make sure that I convey. I don't want anybody to hurt like I'm hurt. I don't want anybody to go through what I've gone through. So if I can pass this along and pass along some information, I may not have the answer, but doggone it, I can at least point it out. So if you're going through it, you go like, I'm going through that. That's what that feels like. You're not crazy if you're going through it alone. And there's a way out of it. I've healed up quite a bit on quite a few issues, on quite a few wounds, baby. I got some chicken pox scars all over my body from bad situations and bad decisions and things that have happened to me, things that have happened um, around me in my life. But I'm healing, and some of it was through therapy. Some of it was through, a lot of it was through prayer. Ooh, thank you, Jesus. A lot of it was through prayer. But I realized at a certain point, I can't heal everybody, and I certainly couldn't heal these guys because I'm broken and I'm trying to put together pieces and I'm all cracked all up. I can't put it's a cliche, sounds very cliche. Social media, you can't pour from an empty cup, but that's what I was doing. Or, look at it this way. I can't pour and fill up a bucket that with a hole in it, and I'll have a hole in my own bucket. It's wild that happens. But I'm glad my cousin pointed it out because that was part two of what I was describing about the band-aid. Like, oh, let me fix you up. Oh, what's wrong with you? I talked about this again at work this week because I work with a dynamic team of ladies and one gentleman, dynamic team of ladies, and we're in the office, and I was telling them how, oh, I just have to have one that's wounded, and they just died laughing, which is funny. It's funny. Like I can't date a guy who's good and nothing's wrong that I can see. Because a girl that I sit next to, Britt was saying, well, Alyssa, if there's a good guy, why you won't date him? Why, if he's so good, why you want to date him? I said, because baby, he ain't got nowhere to go but crazy. Why? Even my cousin Jelani asked me that. Cuz, what does that look like? What are you saying? I said, because he has nowhere to go but crazy. I said, here's the thing. If I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, he's perfectly fine, he's great, I can't find anything wrong, and I know I'm messed up. Chances are I'm gonna mess him up too. So let's just save us some trouble. But I just have that need also, like my cousin said, I have the need to feel needed. I love to fix. I love to identify. But I've had to put the brakes on it going, stop fixing. Stop pouring. It's not even your job to pour. Let it, they have to heal first because you're pouring into a bucket with a hole in it, and that's just going to continue to drain. And I would complain about why it's not there. What I'm pouring into you, it's not there. I'm pouring positivity, but you're still so negative. There's a hole in it. He has to heal it. And you can't plug up that hole in that bucket. I speak metaphorically an awful lot. But you all get the point. I can't sit there and speak positivity and keep telling you you're beautiful, you're handsome, you're sexy. Oh my God, I just love looking at you. You're something to look at. And their whole life they've been told they're funny looking, or they big, or they nose big, or their eyes one eye bigger than the other. You can't, and it doesn't matter how many times I tell them that. If that wound is not healed, they're not going to believe it. And all you're doing is creating another wound because you're irritating them. Ask me how I know, and I'll tell you so. But I did want to follow up with this on a part two about operating from a place of brokenness, position of brokenness. You're trying to heal someone and you're broken yourself. And I just was not even aware that that was part of it too. I identified that, yes, I'm dating men who have father issues. Yes, I love somebody with issues and I'm trying to fix it for them. But I don't even know where to fix it because I didn't even create it. Okay, I'm getting better. Yep. And now this. I couldn't help much anyway, not completely, because I was operating from a position of brokenness. I have my own wounds that I need to heal before I try to heal someone else's. So it's a process. It takes a while. I'm, I'm just now identifying the problem. So thank God for family members. Thank God for men and women. I just need to get more feedback from women. Every now and again, I get someone to tell me, Alyssa, I love what you said about something. I'm like, oh, because I keep saying, I think the name of my podcast throws a lot of people off that they don't listen or won't listen because of the name, because they think it's hot and raunchy, you know, sex tales. And it's not. I mean, there was that one episode to do something, dude. That definitely was. That, by the time that toe showed up, I was like, woo. But overall, this is not what this podcast is about. It's really about me trying to encourage women. And now that I have this demographic of men, encourage people, I guess, encourage people, be okay with yourself. Stay solid with yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're good. Because if this relationship that you're invested in doesn't work out, all you really lost was dick and conversation. You know, it's a different kind of name. Could have called it penis and prayer. One got me out of trouble, what the other one got me into. The trouble the other one got me in, but I didn't. And there have been several times I have considered changing the name of the podcast. And the funny part about it is every time I think about changing it, it's always a man who says, Alyssa, don't do it. That has happened 4 times. Alyssa, don't do it. Keep the name. It's quite catchy. Even though they don't like to say it, you know, they don't like to say it, but they do like to listen to it. So before I go, I haven't been able to do this in a while. I don't think I've ever actually done this. What I need to do is give some love to people who help contribute to my podcast. There are podcasts that I listen to besides the Pivot, because God knows I love the Pivot. I love the Pivot. But some of the podcasts, some of my brothers and sisters in podcast world, like Kevin Marshall, who's the MTAC podcast, More Than a Coach. He also has the Mr. and Mrs. Marshall podcast with his wife Goya. fabulous. And she also has her own podcast too. Also, Big Rail Transportation Rail. Rail is just community activist, looks out for the community. Have been able to like really get in. I need to probably get her on to Yat Life. 42 Yat Life Chronicles. He's been doing phenomenal. Like I said, my cousin Jelani Straight Gangster Mac podcast on Spotify. Also, Latoya, uh, the Nicole, please. I almost forgot it. Nicole, please podcast. I need to do that. Catherine Rivers, the Catherine Chronicles with a K. Cat with a K. Catherine Chronicles with a K. I've been needing to give some love. Uh, Astonishing Figures. Giving Astonishing Figures. You can always find her on all streaming services on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of those. Am I missing somebody? Shay Sip and Chat. Shay Parker Sip and Chat. I feel like I'm missing one. Ah. They don't have podcasts, but I still want to give them love because a lot of times the things that they've told me on when they were guests on my podcast still ring true. Bruce Simmons, my cousin Bruce, my brother Bruce, Bruce, who has amazing advice on being married and just life. Bruce got some good. Bruce has really good advice. So I actually love for Bruce to give advice. And Chris Ray, life coach. Chris, I probably need you back as a double up. I really would love to have you and Astonishing Figures on at the same time. That would be freaking phenomenal. That's one of them I would sit back with popcorn and something to drink and let you two go at it and just drop gems. But I wanted to make sure I gave all of them some love because I always feel I get to recording and forget and then I get off and then it's like posting. But I wanted to make sure that I gave you all some flowers this week because you all have been outstanding. I know I see what you guys are doing on your own with your own platform. So I also want to give that shout out to them as well. Now, I think that completes this episode. Bro- Brokenness. Oh my God, the water. Brokenness. I'm Elissa. This is the Dick and Conversation podcast. Thank you for listening to me on Amazon, iHeart, Pandora, Spotify, and watching me on the tube of you. If you need to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with me at dickandconvo@gmail.com. That is my email. I'm also on Instagram at dickandconversation_podcast. My Facebook page is Dick and Conversation Podcast. That is Facebook. My YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and share, is the Dick and Conversation Podcast channel. And I am on Blue Sky with dickandconvo.bsky.social. So until next time, have a good one.